This is the plaintiff, Jordan Gaylor. He says he and the defendant have been buddies for 8 years, so it's quite upsetting to him that it's come to this, a lawsuit. Turns out the guy doesn't pay his rent. He lied to the cops, moved out without any warning, and now he's having one heck of a time getting the defendant to pay up what he owes. He's suing for $1,700, the amount he's due. This is the defendant, Curtis Valmy. He says there were 4 people sharing the apartment, and when one person moved out, the plaintiff told them they had to absorb the 4th person's rent until they could find another roommate. No one agreed to that. No one could afford that, and now the plaintiff has the nerve to sue for that? Ha! No way. He's accused of leaving a friend high and dry. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $650 for a security deposit.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you. Jordan Gaylor,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
are suing Curtis Valmy for $1,700 in rent and a cleaning fee that you say he owes you and refuses to pay. Tell me what's going on.
So Curtis and I have been friends for a long time, and he's been living with me for about 1 year and 6 months. We've been through this situation once before where I had to appear in court for not paying rent, and we had to worry about being evicted. Happened twice that we had to go. Both times
Whose
he
fault
was
was
involved.
that?
His fault for not paying the money that I had
The
to pay.
portion that was his.
Correct.
Okay.
Right? So originally we lived with 4 people. The gentleman wasn't good, so we all agreed to get rid of him. Totally fine. They agreed to absorb the rent. This was much longer ago.
Who's they? Everybody? How many people? 4
There was 2 other people.
So
It was
the
Mr. Valmy.
remaining 3, you, him, and one other guy.
And one other gentleman.
Agreed that you would oust the 4th guy who wasn't working out.
Correct. And we would all
that
pay
the
it.
3 of you would absorb the rent.
Yes, he
Okay.
paid that price many, many times. And then it kind of got into a little bit of an argument because he stopped giving me money. And then that's it. It turned into an argument where I went out and then he came to the house with the cops and got all his stuff.
Okay, but how would you keep track of what was owed to you?
Well, how do we keep track? I have it written down for one. This is my friend. You have to understand, I know him for a long time.
How long?
8 years. I know him. This is my buddy in Florida. You know, I would go there, hang out with him. Like, this is my real friend. I sleep next to him. So,
Okay, I
this
don't know
is
what you're
not
trying to
something
say.
Like, I can see him from my room when I lay in my bed. I can see him across on the other side.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, you know, this is not something that I should have to worry about. I never had to. He always came up with it. You know, it tends to, all of a sudden he got mad and didn't want to give me the money because it racked up too high. You know, I have the proof. I know how much I
Okay,
paid.
when you say you have the proof, you have the proof because you kept
Well,
notes?
I have all the logs for all the stuff that I get sent.
Would you
that I
give
paid the
receipts
rent.
to him for when he did pay rent?
No, I didn't. I never had to do that. I was trusting him.
How'd that work out for you?
It was fine for a little while. I mean, I don't mind lending
Because I
him
can't help but
money.
notice that you're in court.
Yeah, I know. It's funny how that works.
Let me hear from you. What's going on? He says you're not paying the rent.
I refused to pay the last month of rent because I had my first and last rent and deposit. So since I was getting kicked out on the 15th of the month that
Why
I
were
was
you getting kicked out if everything was fine?
It wasn't fine.
What was not fine?
Okay. When we decided to move one of the renters out, he decided to try and charge everybody more for
Wait,
that
stop
share
1 second.
3 times. Okay.
Which came first? We decide to move the renter out, or he decides to up it? Because he describes that you all got together and said, "All right, we can kick him out, but we're going to have to share the blow."
Correct.
Okay, is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay,
For
and then
1
he
month.
says that you did that many times throughout your tenancy there.
No.
You say it happened 1 month.
It happened once.
And then what happened the next month?
We moved in other people
Okay.
into that room.
Okay.
So that it would go back down so that we could all pay $650, which was affordable for me and for me to be able to actually pay.
And then, but he claims that you owe him. And why then, if you're back to $650 for real?
because
Did that
he's
other
saying
person
that
get?
I owe for one particular month's rent that's outstanding. Anything else
No,
is
he
tacked
claims
on.
that you owe him more than that. And I know
Right.
that because I've seen the text between you two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he claims that you were owing, first of all, his lawsuit against you is for $155 in rent that he says you still owe from December, right?
Correct.
Okay, do you record anywhere what somebody owes you? How do you do this?
I mean, I have it written down like on my iPad, just, you know.
So let me see your
on my
iPad.
notes. Go for it.
Let me see what you wrote down before. Okay, now all this tells me is that you wrote a notation 62 days ago, but
it.
as I know, being an Apple person,
You got it.
You could alter that today.
You can alter the date.
No, you don't alter the date, you just alter the info.
The
you
info is
just
not
press
dated.
on it.
It's dated on the notepad.
Yeah, okay.
Anytime
I
that
just
you put
changed
something
that.
in-
Now he owes you $1 million.
Okay, now check what date it is.
Okay? I just did that, and the note still says whatever the note says.
Okay, if you
get what I'm
push
saying?
back on the notes, it'll tell you when the last time you input a note is.
Push notes so that I get out of this.
Okay, go
and I'm
back to
going to
that
go
note.
to client sessions, but I'm not going to read your client sessions. And then
Thank
I'm
you.
going to go to notes, and then I'm going to go to money owed me. Oh yeah, it did do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh hell, and I altered it. What was that? You said. Apparently, you're a
sorry.
better Apple person than I am.
I apologize.
Damn. All right. He owes 155 in December. He owed 585
That was the remainder balance.
because how much was March rent?
March rent was, he paid me $290. March rent was $875.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I'm an audio engineer and I'm a barista.
Okay. Now, I'm looking at your text back and forth with him, and let me tell you what isn't there. What isn't there is, hey, dude, I've paid you $650 like I'm supposed to each and every time. I just can't absorb the extra fee. Why are you hitting me up for that extra fee? I've paid you what I'm supposed to. Let me tell you what is there. I'm so sorry. I know I owe you money. Dude, I totally owe you the money. Dude, I have absolutely no defense to that. Yeah, I know I owe you the money. You better, hey, stop talking, man. Then you're like crazy. I mean, you're texting the guy every 27 seconds, okay? This is not how it's done.
Correct.
Okay, I mean, you really, and I know it's because he's your friend. I assume you wouldn't treat an arm's length transaction that way, but I don't even know why you're answering him. Turn the phone off, you're at work.
How does that work? Yeah.
I know, well, turn their phone off, but you're like little teenage girls. And I know that because I have a house, no, both of you. Stop, you mostly, because you're like, you're honest to God, I have a house full of little teenage girls, so I know what it's like. And you sit there and you no, but you are, but what am I? Essentially, because you're going back and forth about who's a worse friend and who's a bigger deadbeat, and it's insanity. It's insanity. But over and over and over, you keep saying that you do know you owe him money.
Correct.
And he keeps he's collecting money from you daily? Like what, the cash?
Yeah, it became like a daily, I couldn't walk inside the house without giving him money.
Well, how much behind were you for that to be happening?
It's the 1 month's rent. It wasn't enough. It was the fact
So
that
you
they
say
were,
you did, so you claim you paid $650 for March.
Correct.
Can you prove it?
No.
Okay. And then you admit that you didn't pay anything for April.
I told him that I would pay him as soon as I could, or you could just let me move out and keep my deposit, and I could be on my way.
How much did you pay for a deposit?
I paid first and last month's rent and deposit.
Okay.
So it's
Is
3
that
months.
accurate?
No, ma'am.
What did he pay?
He paid $420. We paid 1 month security and 1 month to move in. That's all it cost us. I paid the majority share of the deposit. He and the two others.
So he paid $420 for what? Security?
That was part of his security so that we could move in.
Got it. So
Correct.
he did pay $420 security.
Yes.
Okay. And he did not pay last month.
No.
Did you pay last month?
No, I paid the first month and the security. Half of the security.
So your lease does not require the last month to have been paid?
It does not.
May I see your lease?
Yes.
Did you move in before he moved in, or you guys all moved in together?
We moved in together.
Do you have proof you paid last month?
No, I have proof that I gave him money. I have no proof that I
You
gave
have
him
no proof of
money. I have
anything?
no proof of
Okay.
No more proof.
What is it you're looking for?
I have a renewal. That's the original lease.
No, that's all right, because
Oh, okay.
what this tells me was there in fact a last month required by your landlord, which would make sense that then you collect it from people, and I see
Correct.
that it wasn't. And you have no proof you paid it, and logically, by looking at the original lease, nobody paid it, so why would you have?
I distinctly remember.
Distinctly remember. Okay. Yeah, I don't deal in
Paying
your distinct memory. I
$2,000.
deal in evidence. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see those texts.
You have it up
Do I
there.
still have your iPad?
Yeah.
What's this about Susan Sarandon? What's that?
His brother dates Susan Sarandon.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Is that true? Okay, don't answer. Don't answer.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So why do people who are really good friends move in together and all of a sudden it blows up?
Well, it's different than living with somebody than being friends with somebody. You got to keep your friends and your roommates separate.
You buy that, so you never live with a friend?
I mean, I have, and it didn't end up well.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
They ended up moving back to New Jersey.
They hated you that much they had to leave? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
What is wrong with you people? You don't understand. I mean, honest to God, say it, forget it, write it, regret it. Okay? You put stuff in writing like this, and there's a judge one day who is reading about the stuff you are up to. And I'm not just talking about girl stuff. I'm talking about illegal stuff that you're actually putting in writing. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Don't either of you have jobs you want to keep? I mean, you know, it's out there. Somebody's going to pick it up. You guys, you just, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with, honest to God. Cool, I need drugs. Girl here waiting for you.
We do live in Manhattan.
What does that have to do with anything? Just don't write it. I mean, honest to God, let me tell you something. I am more insulted about the fact that you're so stupid that you write stuff down, this generation of yours. I'm more insulted by that than what you're writing down. You didn't invent this. What you've done is you've invented creating a track record of stuff because if you're careless like this, you're clearly careless in your Facebook pages and everywhere else. And you guys it doesn't matter. You know what? You're 27. You're going exactly where you've mapped out. All right, I'm still trying to get to the original discussions about bring back good coffee for my mom.
Yeah, he's my buddy.
He's your buddy. Are you stealing the coffee or are you paying for it?
No, he pays for it. He gets good coffee.
Bring me money too. I didn't make a lot of money today. You have to give me money every day.
That was the deal.
What kind of coffee does she want? I get paid Monday. Chill the blank out. I hear it every day. I understand what you say. You don't have to stick it in my eyes every time I say hello. You chill the blank out. I'm going to remind you every day because you put me in this situation. It's not my fault, fool, so don't give me blank and just do what I say. Any good one is fine. I assume you're talking about the coffee. I made $53. I wasn't telling you to stop asking for money. It's the fact that when I'm at work, I'm actually trying to make money. There's no doubt in my mind I need to pay you. There is no doubt in my mind I need to pay you. Telling me at work while I am working doesn't solve anything. I got her Kenya Mild. Blend coming up now. I will leave $40 on your dresser, leaving me shekels. I'm not crying about it, just telling you I'm trying. Until I get my paycheck, everything is not a lot. I want all the money you owe for rent this week, and I want May's rent on the 1st. Not on the blanking 10th, not on the blanking 2nd, on the 1st. This is by April 16th.
Or I still didn't get money for April.
Then he didn't text you back in 20 minutes, and you're freaking out.
Yeah.
I know you don't care. And then this is when it gets nasty, back and forth. You call each other all kinds of names. It just gets worse and worse
Yeah,
and
he talks
worse.
about my father. That's when it got personal.
Right.
For me.
Yeah. No, he was nasty as hell. I mean, talking about your family. I mean, he was ridiculous. You really were. You were ridiculous. As I've reread all of these texts, not once does he say, I'm not paying the extra amount. All he says over and over again is, yeah, I owe you money. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. There's not one complaint about the extra amount. So I'm going to go by your figures because otherwise I would have seen something about it then. I am, however, going to credit him the $420 in security deposit. You say you had to pay $40 to clean the apartment?
Correct.
Can I see it? The proof of it?
I don't have that. I
Okay.
have someone come and do it for me. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I pay them cash.
Yeah. Okay. But you're suing for it, so you would need to have proof of that in here.
All
right. So that would mean a judgment in your favor in the amount of $1,240 verdict for the plaintiff. On your counterclaim to return $650, I'm returning $420. That he agrees that you pay, that you don't even have proof of that. But bonus for you, he testified in your behalf on that. That is my verdict. $1,240 verdict for the plaintiff. And please return his iPad.
There's the defendant coming out here. You lose this case. He collects on almost everything he's sued for. And what's your reaction here?
I'm pleading the fifth on everything.
All right. Head right down that way then. All right, step on out here. And you didn't get everything, but you got quite a bit. What do you think of the outcome of this case here?
Don't mix friends and money, because you lose your friends and you lose your money.
That is a good lesson. We've seen that in here many times. So you want him back as a friend?
Probably not.
Over to Harvey.
Okay, you know, especially when you have a relationship with somebody, you know, I think it's a good idea that when roommates move in together, they get the ground rules written down so you know exactly what's expected of you and there are going to be no surprises and no animosity. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.